Okay, guys, you've got 5 minutes left on the clock. Use your time wisely. Don't panic and take it out of the oven if it doesn't need to. But of course, if you need to take it out of the oven, if you think it's cooking too fast, too long, then please do.
I want to use all the time I'm given to make sure that my apples are cooked all the way through.
Tartar tatin, you've got to shake it in the oven, otherwise it'll caramelise and burn on the top of your tart, or it'll stick and it won't fall out. So I'm looking at it. Okay, 5 minutes. Shake, shake, shake. Yeah, another 5 minutes. Shake, shake, shake. And I'm just constantly checking it, making sure it's cooked, making sure the sides are tucked underneath. And I'm probably fiddling with it a bit too much.
I am not confident at all. My life is pretty much hanging on this tart tatin cooking right now in the oven. And all I can do is pray and hope it comes out.
I spent quite a lot of time peering in the oven door because I don't know if it's going to come out of the pan and I don't know if the apples are going to be cooked.
I look at my tart tatin in the oven and I see it hasn't risen evenly and it has some burnt bits on it. So I quickly take it out and I start scraping off some of the dark bits.
I'm really focused on getting this right, and if I stuff this, I'm out of here. So I'm leaving it, I'm looking, maybe I should pull it out, and I'm sort of starting to second guess myself. I thought, bugger it, pull it out. I mean, I know that it does caramelise and burn a bit around the edges.
For tart tatin in 45 minutes, there's no easy challenge. I just hope that I've done enough, or one of those two has done worse though.
I pull the pan out of the oven. It didn't look that dark in the oven, under the oven lights. When I brought it out into the actual light of the kitchen, it looked a lot darker.
You now have 10 minutes for your tart tatin to rest, and hopefully you'll be able to turn that out successfully onto your plates. When it's rested for 10 minutes, you should be able to put your hand on the top of the tart and you should be able to spin it round. This is a really important part of the whole process. If it doesn't move, it's stuck.
The waiting game is the worst part because not only are you waiting to see how your dish went, you're waiting to be told who's going home.
All that's left during the 10-minute resting time is plating up. I think it's the last thing that can go wrong. I can't wait, actually, for the 10 minutes to be up to find out whether or not it looks good.
That looks fantastic.
It's all right,
Yours is the lightest out of all of ours.
How's yours, darling?
Mine was a bit too dark. How did you cook your apples?
I put them in the pan, spread them.
Did you cut them thinly, or...?
Yeah, no, they're all even, though. So, like, one was a bit thicker, so I cut it up.
As soon as I saw Julie's beautiful tart tatin and Aaron has perfect apples, I was starting to doubt myself.
Aaron's asking us at the end of the challenge whether or not the pastry's twisting. And I say to him, I'm not touching mine until 10 minutes is up.
Is yours spinning? Yeah, good, good. Yeah, mine's spinning. Mine's doing 360s.
I'm nervous. I just want to follow the instructions. I put my hand on it and gently twist it in the pan. I'm so relieved the pastry's twisting.
Your 10 minutes resting time is now up. This is extremely crucial.
I've got to invert this dessert onto a plate. So I put the plate on top of the pan.
This is the moment where it could all go wrong. So be very careful.
All I can think about is, will it pop out and fall off the plate perfectly?
I'm just really focused on getting this right.
Your 10 minutes resting time is now up. This is extremely crucial. This is the moment where it could all go wrong. So be very careful.
So I put the plate on top of the pan. And I flip it. And I'm just waiting for extra weight to fall onto the plate. And I lifted the pan and everything had come down onto the plate. Oh, the relief, the relief.
Very quick motion, flip. The tartan comes straight out off the top, so it's good, it's cooked really well. One of the apples sort of falls out, but I put that back in. And then using my spatula, I take it off the plate and plate it neatly onto the main plate.
All I can think about is those few seconds. Will it pop out and fall off the plate perfectly? It looked terrible. It had a few shriveled apples on it. The pastry was just coming out of the ends, and I went, oh my God, I am screwed.
The judges will now taste your dishes one by one.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing to be the first dish tasted by the judges. The stakes on this are really high.
Julie, how do you think you went?
I'm not quite sure how they're actually supposed to look. So I'm not sure how close that is to a good one.
You happy with the result?
There are a few things I would do differently if I was going to do it again. I would have done the caramel sauce on a lower heat, and I would have turned the oven down a bit sooner so the pastry wasn't quite so dark.
Thanks very much. You have to leave us to taste and deliberate.
Thank you.
And just listen to that. It makes a fantastic crispy sound of all those layers of pastry.
Apples are soft, pastry's crisp.
I think it could have had a little bit more acid.
You wouldn't want to push that caramel anymore because I think it's a little bit too close to being bitter. But certainly the apple flavour is very true, and she's got some fantastic lift in the puff.
When we're waiting in the room, I'm feeling a little bit anxious. Someone's going to be eliminated from the competition.
My whole cooking life here at MasterChef depends on that one ta-ta.
So, Linda, how did you go?
I made a few mistakes. I should have tried to put more apples.
Did you burn the pastry?
It was burnt in a few little spots, so I tried to scrape that off, but I think it was a bit too late. So, in terms of a tart to 10, it's not a good effort.
Why are you so upset?
The proof is in the taste of the pudding. It just has to taste great, and I think that's the most important thing, the thing that I've been overlooking the most in this competition.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you. All I could think about was the fact that someone was going to be eliminated.
She's definitely had problems. The top of the pastry's burnt, and yet I've got a raw, undercooked piece of pastry by the apple.
The apples do look a lot more overcooked, and I think that's due to the way they were cut.
I'm not so sure if it's actually got the same bitterness. Julie's had that little bit of bitterness, and I don't actually think that's quite as bitter.
I'm up against two amazing cooks. It is extremely important for me to get through this challenge.
I'm feeling pretty confident. The tartan has got nice colour on it. I'm hoping that it's cooked though, the pastry's cooked.
Out of the three, where do you think yours stacks up?
It's up there. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be perfect. I used all my apples.
Did you burn the pastry?
Yeah, it's a little bit overcooked. Probably a bit around the sides and
So
on the top.
You burnt the pastry?
I wouldn't say, oh, yeah, if it's burnt, it's burnt.
I don't know, I'm asking you. I'm going to have a look in a minute. Did you
Yeah,
burn the
it's
pastry?
it's over brown on the bottom. Yeah.
You didn't get the sudden urge to blend it up and turn it into a foam?
No.
No, it's very fine.
That's not me. You know, I love that food. It has been me. Yeah. You know, that's good food, but you know, last night I went home and I thought a lot about food. I woke up this morning with a different mentality about the whole competition, and I just, I want to cook like good food. I'm not a chef.
Okay, Aaron. Thanks very much.
The hardest part is having the dish judged and knowing that my fate rests on this that I've just done, and there's nothing I can do to change it.
Great sound.
Yeah. He's really overcooked the pastry. He's cooked the apples really well. The caramel is a touch bitter, maybe just a little bit too far.
It's got a definite zing to it that I quite like.
I just want to peel off the bottom layer of that puff and eat it without it, because it's like that badly burned bit of toast.
It's spoiled it. Really has.
I know that I'm on thin ice with hot blades, and I'm ready for their verdict.
We've got to send somebody home out of this. I think we've still got a few questions to ask, so I think we should get them back in.
I've never prepped a squid, I've never grilled squid, and I've never stuffed it. I didn't really know at first how to go about actually separating the hood from the head and the body. It was disgusting.
I'm thinking, Michelle, stick to the recipe. I struggle with keeping to exact amounts.
My ink sac had burst before we even started, so I had a shitload of ink all over myself, even before I started cleaning the thing.
Sammy, you can roll it over itself as well to clean the inside better.
Josh is hanging over the railing above Sam and I, shouting out advice as to how to prep the squid. Sort of lucky that we buddied up to the fishmonger in the house, because I didn't really have a clue what I was doing at the start.
I had a little bit of help from Josh upstairs to get my fingers right under the wings of the squid and just pull away, and that actually does literally remove the whole skin in one piece.
The first squid turns out perfect. I thought I'd better just do the second one in case I have an accident. I've got a second up my sleeve.
Sammy's not cleaning the other one.
Within the first 10 minutes, I could see that Sam was working faster than me. I knew that I probably had to pick up my pace.
Okay, guys, you've got 30 minutes left. All right, Michelle, how are you going?
Yeah, okay.
Read the recipe?
Yes,
all
I did.
good?
Yep.
So did you have trouble cleaning the squid, or are you all good?
I think I'm okay. I'm opting to use that one. That's my spare. But
All right, Michelle.
Thank you.
Keep going.
Sam, how you going?
Okay, mate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of pressure.
And the stuffing, you feel comfortable with that? That smells beautiful. You've got garlic and
shallots
in
and
there,
anchovies. Yep,
which gives it
correct.
the salt. And then, so then how are you going to put that together?
We've got the tentacles going in very shortly,
Yep.
and then combine it with the breadcrumbs and lemon zest and lemon juice, as far as I remember.
All right.
And then, yeah, combine it all and we'll stuff it inside that squid.
All right.
It's all going to be big. It's going to be right down to the last minute, isn't
Grill the calamari. It sounds like it might be. All right, mate.
All right.
Good luck.
Good luck.
I've fallen behind Michelle and Sam at this point, and I need to catch up if I'm actually going to plate up my dish today.
So you're making the sofrito now, which is
Yeah.
the onions, the garlic, and the anchovies.
Anchovy, yeah.
And then have you made your breadcrumbs yet?
No, I'm going to get onto that.
You know, you got your tomato to do, you got your beans to cook, you got
I know.
you got your stuffing to make, you got your calamari to fill, and your calamari to grill.
Yeah.
So you've got to push it along, haven't you?
Yep.
All right then.
You need to move your ass, Kate.
I know.
You've got 25 minutes to go. Best of luck, Kate.
Thank you.
What do you think, George?
They all need to move their butts a little bit, you know. It's, you know.
Well, some of them haven't made the stuffing, so they've got to make the stuffing, they've got to fill the calamari, and they've got to grill the thing.
Yeah, and that could take a couple of minutes to cook just in itself.
I'm
and
panicking.
then a little rest and then a carve. I'd be panicking.
Yeah.
I made a decision, a split-second decision. Go with your instinct. I'm not good with recipes. I love recipes to get ideas from. I'm not really a recipe person. To me, it's all about the taste, and I need to make it to my taste.
Right, I think you need to get a move on. This is my final word of advice. You've got just under 20 minutes, and if it was me, I'd be starting to feel nervous because I don't think you're far enough ahead to get this dish up in time.
Kate's just finished doing her breadcrumbs. Sam's de-seeding olives, and I think he's got most of his stuffing ready to go. And it looks like Michelle's just about at almost exactly the same point.
I've done my tastings, I've tasted my stuffing, I've probably got a little bit too much breadcrumbs. I'm not very good with precise amounts.
Right, guys, you've got 15 minutes to go. At this point, you should really have the squid stuffed.
I didn't. I had my squid tube ready and I had my stuffing ready, just not stuffed my squid. So straight away, I got my squid stuffed, made sure it was nice and tight, packed in, and got that ready to cook.
I'm squeezing lemon, I'm adding olive oil, I'm adding seasoning. I'm not measuring that because if I spend the time measuring this, I know for sure and certain I won't get this meal on the plate.
I'm thinking, oh, I might not actually get this dish finished on time.
I've never stuffed a squid before. This is technically a more profound dish than what I'm used to doing.
Use the handle of the spoon, Sam.
Pardon?
Use the handle of the spoon.
That slippery little squid is a lot more hollow than I expected. I'm trying to get my stuffing in. I've got my thumb in there and I'm pushing that stuffing right in, but I'm not quite sure if it's reaching the bottom.
I should have had my pan on a long time ago, really. And I'm just starting on my salad, but at the same time, I picked up my pace and I've got a little bit of hope again.
How long did it take, you reckon?
Just till golden brown, throw it on. Yeah, good.
And Sam, just run your hands down so it looks natural.
In terms of cooking the squid, I didn't cook it yet because I actually wanted to cook that last minute.
Give it a nice grill mark. Just let it alone.
Yeah,
leave it alone.
Let it sit for a couple of minutes.
If I overcook the squid, it'll go rubbery and it won't be pleasant to eat.
My salad was pretty much done. I was trying to get all component parts of the dish ready to go so that, you know, once I'd cooked the squid, it was literally just plating that up and the salad was already there.
Check the squid, Michelle. Check your squid, Mish. Check the squid.
I've got a lot of support there. Tom's called out, Justine, Poe, Andre, they're all up there, and you know, I know I've got a lot of support.
7 minutes, guys.
I was cooking this squid on the griddle.
Is that all right?
Obviously, the key is to try and leave it on the one spot to get the nice grill marks.
Don't you pop on me, you bastard.
I've got my squid on the pan, but it's not hot enough yet. Without the pan hot enough, I'm a bit concerned about how the squid is actually going to present when it's cooked, if it's going to be golden enough.
I think I moved it around a little bit too much. If the worst thing about my dish was going to be some off-centre griddle marks, I could accept that.
Should that be enough? Yeah, good colour.
Guys, 5 minutes to go, yeah? That's 5 minutes to go. You should be thinking about dressing your dish, yeah? Making it beautiful.
The judges tell us that we should be plating up our dishes, but I have not taken my squid out of the pan. Try not to think about it. I'm quite concerned at this point that I'm going to have to plate up raw squid. I've never left plating up of a dish to that last minute. I've never been this disorganised. I'm really panicking that I'm not going to plate up in time.
I'd just taken my squid off. I thought, at least I'm going to get a dish out.
I needed to get everything on the plate, so it really is a pressure test. I mean, the pressure's awesome.
I'm a bit behind the others at the moment, so I'm freaking out. I need to focus, really.
There was a bit of slimy stuff that was still in the bottom of the squid, and I realised that my stuffing has not gone all the way to the bottom of the squid tube.
Sammy.
Yeah, mate?
Try to keep the olives shining up.
The moment I felt relieved is when I got that squid on top of those beans and started dressing it.
Don't serve your toothpick, Sam.
I know that.
Clean it. Clean your knife properly. Clean it.
The biggest worry is making sure that my presentation is right. You know, I've been hammered for my presentation, so this is up to me to get this dish looking right.
Michelle, less and scatter around.
Scatter
both sides.
Spread the tomato around.
And less.
I think I might have just got it in the end. I'm hoping that it's cooked. I've got the gold colour that I wanted from the squid.
You've got 30 seconds to go. So if you're not plating up, it really needs to go on the plate.
Other way, men. Other way. 90 degrees.
Take a quarter of that off.
Take your time. You've got plenty of time. You're right.
I think we're down to the last 30 seconds and I actually get that squid on a palette knife and onto my salad and dress the rest of the plate and then done.
Across the beans, across them.
Look at the balance of the colours.
What?
Look at the balance of the colours.
Okay, guys, that's it. Time's up. Tools down, hands down. You're done.
It's my turn to take my dish to the judges. I'm proud of what I've done. I just hope that they see that I've really pushed myself today.
So, Sam, are you pleased with what you produced?
Yes, for the most part. You may have seen that I took my puddings out of the oven about 7 or 8 minutes before 40 minutes. I did want to see how they were going.
Yeah.
I took one out and it was a bit undercooked, so I had the rest in for the remaining 7 or 8 minutes.
Okay.
And I think, you know, the final product's decent.
Okay. And I noticed Kate was throwing down some advice to you. Did you need advice?
I do like to have the support of other people around me. It's just the sort of person that I am.
Did she give you good advice, do you think?
I hope so. I truly hope so. Yeah.
Nothing worse than taking the wrong advice, is there?
Certainly is not.
Only got yourself to blame if that happens.
Absolutely true.
OK, Sam, thanks very much. You can go now.
Okay, enjoy. Thank you. If I have to go home today on the back of that, at least I go home on a high.
So, the praline looks a bit thick to me, but the pudding looks a nice shape. And I think the butterscotch sauce could be a little bit darker, but other than that, I think he's done a good job. You know what, that's really nice. Sam's done a good job in terms of baking the pudding, I think. And he was probably right to put it back in the oven when he did.
This is one of those sticky dates. If you like moist fruit cake, you're going to love. You're just going to love that kind of when it's a bit gooey in the middle.
delicious. Butterscotch sauce is just like, wow, you just want to go back for more and sort of feel sick because you've had too much.
And the pralines may be marginally thick, but what he has managed to achieve, besides that beautiful colour, is a little bit of bitterness from taking that caramel just to the point where it's starting to turn. So it isn't just a big chunk of sugar, it's got a little bit of tang to it. You know, it's got to be said, the other guys are going to have to go it to surpass that, because that is a very fine example of a sticky date pudding with butterscotch sauce.
Sitting around waiting for the judges it's not fun. It gives you time to doubt yourself. It's all well and good to stay positive, but when you're looking down the barrel of an elimination, it's very tough.
Trevor, how do you think you went?
It tastes really nice. I think I did really well. I mean, there were a few teething problems. I screwed up when I used the brown sugar to make the praline. Luckily, I actually realised that it was way too brown in the pan. That cost me like 10 minutes, but I still managed to plate up, so happy.
Would your wife be happy with that?
I think she would. She would love it.
Did you have a little trouble taking the pudding out of the mould?
It's not something I've ever done before, so I did run a knife around it, but
yeah.
I don't think I did it, you know, as precisely as I probably should have.
Okay.
Trevor, thank you.
Thank you. I know I cooked a good dish today. I know I can cook. I know I deserve to be here. So I just hope the judges can see that.
It looks good. I reckon he has had a little bit of trouble getting it out of the mould. You can just see where he's torn the pudding on the outside, certainly on one side, where he's popped the knife in and turned it round to turn the pudding out. Look, I can't pick between the two of them. So far, both of them are absolutely top-notch puddings.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's beautiful. The pudding's deep, it's rich. The caramel sauce has got this extra little bit of vibrance compared to the last one. Mate, they are delicious.
That butterscotch sauce is...
That's liquid gold.
It's amazing, isn't it? There's a very small difference, maybe 2 minutes in the pan that's got it a little bit darker, but it just lifts that sauce for me from being sweet to just having that kind of slightly, not quite caught, but almost caught, slightly kind of caramelly flavour, molassesy flavour. It's absolutely delicious. Wow, well, we've seen two quite amazing dishes.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous about what they'll say because, I mean, I find fault with my food, so they'll probably find something wrong with it, and I just have to wait and see.
Tom, you were worried about the praline. How did that work out?
I think it's a bit thick. I think if I had to do it again, I would have tried to make it thinner.
Do you think that's a good enough dish to carry you through?
I would hope so. I've seen the other two, and to be completely honest, I think it's going to be very close. I would like to think it's very close.
Tom, thanks a lot.
Thank you. I could be the one going home. I've accepted that, but I just have to wait and see.
The fact that he has tipped the pudding over and poured the sauce onto the bottom as such rather than the crusty top, it's soaked right the way through, so it's really soft and really gooey, nice and sweet, really nice and datey as well.
Beautiful pudding, really well made. Caramel's delicious. If there's any criticism, it's just a tad paler than the last two.
Try that next, that's got more nuts in. When you bite that, it fractures, it shatters in your mouth. There's none of that sense your teeth are going to break. It just goes like that. And again, it's got that caramelly, burny flavour, which is beautiful. That's fantastic.
Beautiful.
Wow, this is going to be so close, huh? I mean, this has to be the closest pressure test we've had. It's going to be hard to decide who's going to go home.
So I think it's time to get them back in and talk to them.
The
threat of elimination, the fact that you're cooking against two really, really good cooks in this competition, the fact that it's about you know, impressing the judges and beating those other two guys. I mean, it is very hard.
Well, gentlemen, our first all-male pressure test. To make it more interesting, two of you don't cook desserts. That's exactly what you've been asked to do. I think we're all surprised and also quite disappointed to find the three of you here, because we think you're amongst the best cooks in the competition.
We're going to have a chat to each of you and just find out where you're going and whether or not your ambitions and your dreams are still the same.
Sam, second time, mate.
I know.
What's going on?
I'm not cooking the food that I like to eat, and it's let me down, and it's caused me to probably lose a little bit of soul in my cooking.
Today, you're standing there with these two guys looking like they're on death row.
Yep.
And you're larking around, you're laughing, you're waving to your mates in the gallery. You're not taking the competition seriously?
When I'm like that, I cook better. I know I do. When I'm more relaxed, more jovial, I do cook my best when I'm like that. Now, that might, you know, I've had comments before that might seem flippant. It's not. It's the right headspace for me to be in to cook my best.
Tom, you're a difficult one for us to get a handle on. It's really the time now to be quite vocal about what you want to achieve out of it and what you want to do, because I don't know.
I'm looking for a profession that gives me that passion where I can actually wake up, live, sleep, drink, eat my career. And in the last few months, that's crystallised in terms of food and my approach to food and thinking about food and talking about food and cooking.
What about your change of living from lawyer to lowly cook? I mean, cooks, you know, it comes from service industries. You know, we're talking butlers and cooks in a big house, you know.
Yeah.
We're at the bottom end of town rather than the top end of town. How does that make you feel?
Look, it doesn't worry me at all, because actually I've been into law because partly the status, the money, and the realisation is, look, actually, it's not all that you need in your profession or your career.
Trevor.
Sure.
You said you didn't want to go home today?
No, I don't.
Tell me why.
This competition for me is a massive learning experience. It has completely ignited my passion for food and for cooking. I thought that I loved it before, but this really has turned it on. There's probably only one other thing in my life that I consider as important, and that's my marriage.
You cooked the dish today for your wife, yeah?
Yes. I want to work with my wife in food. We both love to cook. We both love to serve people. We both love making people happy. It just seemed to be the natural progression to open a restaurant.
You know, it's a beautiful thing to serve people, but it's a really rotten thing when you get people saying, I came to your restaurant and I ate there and the food was terrible.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what happened to you yesterday, yeah?
Yeah, it was. I screwed up royally. I'm still beating myself up about that dish. It was a steak. How many times have I cooked and eaten a steak? I mean, it's absolute... I feel like suspending myself in the air with a series of uppercuts. I'm that upset with myself. Really pissed off. Sorry, I can't get it out of my head.
It was a shock.
It was absolutely appalling. There was no excuse for it, and if it sends me home, it's going to kill me. I don't think the judges could be any more disappointed than I am in myself at putting myself in this position.
So, tough decisions, of course, have to be made. Sam?
Harry?
Your pudding? Very nice. Did a good job. Nice and fluffy. Nice little cubic pieces of date. Really nice and tasty and jammy.
Okay.
Good job on that.
Thank you.
Caramel was a bit light.
Was it?
Praline was a little bit thick.
Okay.
Trevor, again, nice pudding. Really good butterscotch sauce. All three of us agreed that it was the best of the three.
Thank you very much.
But the pudding, when you turned it out, it was a bit rough. Nearly fell apart, used a knife. It was not as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
Tom, the praline that you made was by far the best out of all of them. Really crunchy, like glass. It was just really fantastic. You did a good job there.
We sat there and we thought if those three puddings had been put down on one table, we'd be hard-pressed to work out they'd been made by three different people. The quality was so good. And the sort of differences we're talking about, the thickness of the praline, the colour of the pudding, They're not the sort of thing any of us would have sent a pudding back for. They were that good. It was really impressive what you did, guys. Really impressive.
Thank you.
So that makes the decision even harder because you just proved to us that you should not be sitting here, having done the pressure test, with the potential of your dream being over, you're going home.
I am more nervous because maybe this is it. Maybe this is my time to go.
Tom, you're still in the competition. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
I found out that I'm safe. I'm relieved, I'm happy because I'm actually staying in this competition. I don't feel that I'm ready to leave.
Trevor and Sam, it comes down to you two. It comes down to the dish that you cooked today. Trevor, you're still in the competition.
Oh, thank God. Sorry, man. That's right. Thank you, guys. I'm relieved. I think I buckled over in half and said, thank you, God. Yeah, no, I'm very, very happy. A little bit upset that Sam is the one who'll be going home, but yeah, ecstatic that I'm staying in the competition. Thank you. Thank you.
Sam, your dream has got to end.
I understand that.
But not today.
Oh, you're kidding. No way.
You're still in the competition.
You little beauty.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you. That's a huge relief and a very, very proud moment.
Oh, so much.
Oh, you beauty!
Oh, my God. Oh, what happened there?
We're in a situation where 3 great cooks. You put up 3 puddings that were so goddamn perfect. It was almost impossible to tell you apart, whether it's for the praline, the pudding, or that amazing butterscotch sauce. And we had the discussion that you're all allowed to make 1 mistake. In Sam's case, 2, obviously. And they want you to continue and have 1 more chance.
Thank you so much, guys.
Amazing.
Go back to the house. Let's see the look of surprise on some of their faces. Thank you very much. We'll see you again soon. Guys, you have 4 minutes to go. So you're down to the wire again.
The clams are all cooked. I think I'm just going to rest it now with a tea towel over it.
The colour and the smell of it looks really nice.
It looks good, but I...
One of the things that really stood out to me was just the different colours of the paellas. You know, Sandra's looked almost bright red, Julie's looked quite dark, and Aaron's was much lighter than both. So we're sort of really looking at 3 different dishes here from the same recipe, which I think is going to be a good thing for the judges.
Right, guys, you've got 1 minute to go. That's 1 minute.
You know, Julie and Sandra are sort of struggling to finish. I'm actually finished and I'm where I want to be. So I'm thinking that I'm in with a pretty good shot here. It's looking fairly good.
Aaron's really on target. It'll be interesting how it tastes, obviously. It tends to be his only downfall.
Wow.
I'm happy with what I've made today, but I don't want to be too confident because you don't know what they really want.
I can smell them. Smell burning.
I started to get wafts of burning, and I could kind of hear her rice popping a little bit, which means it's getting too dry. And the burning smell indicated to me like maybe her crust was burnt. So we thought she was a goner.
Your time is up. Please step away from your stations.
I do finish my dish in time. I'd like to be happy with it, but I don't know whether or not I should be, and I have a bit of a, I don't know, like a crisis of confidence, I suppose. I've become very fond of these people. We've been thrown into a pressure cooker together, and you just get to know people fairly quickly under these circumstances, and I'm fond of everybody. I guess it sort of hits me that I might be going home.
Coming up, it's crunch time as the 3 contestants face the judges.
The worst dish means that person will go home.
Julie, Sandra and Aaron, you've just cooked a traditional Spanish paella. The judges will now move to the restaurant to taste each of your dishes. The person who's cooked the worst dish will immediately go home. The remaining 2 will get to stay and move further in this competition.
It's my turn to take my dish to the judges. Being my second time in that room is an embarrassment, and I think there's a very real possibility that I'm the one who's going to be asked to leave.
Julie, how did you go?
I hope it's all right. Not really knowing the dish, I'm really not sure.
So what are you concerned about?
Flavour. I'm just concerned that I haven't put enough flavour into it.
Did you achieve that crust on the bottom of the pan that we were all talking about?
I'm not 100% sure. I think it's there.
Why the tears earlier?
I'm a teary person. It's nothing melodramatic. It's just everything's very close to the surface, and more so in here than out in the real world.
Do you think that dish is enough to keep you in the competition?
I hope so. I really hope so.
OK, Julie, thanks very much. Time for us to taste your dish.
Thank you. I walk out of the restaurant. They're tasting my dish. What's done is done. I just have to wait for the result.
You know, if I was served this up in a Spanish restaurant, I think my first reaction would be goody, lots of mussels. My second reaction would be, hey, where's the rice? Because there seem to be an awful lot of mussels and not a lot of rice.
George, would you like to serve up?
Yeah.
Thank you. The sofrito that she's used at the beginning is not overpowering, so you're getting those nice sort of saffron, sweet spices, the paprika. The rice is just a wee bit overcooked, but it's not a disaster.
Aromatically, it smells really fragrant. And the balance of the sofrito is quite nice.
It's a good, deep, rich, complex flavour.
The crust isn't as even as it should be.
Look, it probably could have done with a few more minutes just to really toast it up and give it a kind of crust that comes away in one piece. But I think for it to be a true paella, it has to have a bit more rice.
It's my turn. It's just the most horrible feeling, having to actually put my dish, put my heart onto a table and be judged.
Sandra, your father's Spanish?
Yes.
High expectations.
I know.
Is it the best paella you've ever made?
No, it's not. It's not the best paella
Why
I've
not?
ever made. I don't know. I just think that it's a very different paella to the way I make it.
What about the crust?
The crust, there is a crust at the bottom.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you. When I walked out of the restaurant, I felt relieved. There's nothing I can do now. All I have to do is just wait for the verdict.
Wow, I mean, this is an epic, you know. This is what I want to eat. For me, a tad too much saffron, but it's got a real guts of flavour, which I do like about it. And let's face it, it's Spanish, and that's what's so beautiful about this culture and cuisine.
And it looks totally different to the other one. It's very saffrony, which sort of dominates the dish, but it's not unpleasant, and I do like it.
It's a generous, expansive, flavour-packed, rich, delicious paella. That crust, it's pretty good. This is holding together a bit better here. I still think it could probably do with another couple more minutes just to get it brown, but that's great. That's really nice.
When you're waiting to go into the judges and have your dish judged, it's nerve-wracking because you start second-guessing everything on your dish. I really don't want to go home, so I hope they have good things to say about it.
Aaron, how do you think you've gone?
I hope I've gone all right. You know, I really enjoyed it. Wow. I enjoyed actually making the dish, and yeah, I'd happily sit and eat it.
So did you have any problems with the dish?
Salt, saffron haven't been my best friends during this competition, and I just wanted to make sure there wasn't too much salt, wasn't too much saffron, and everything was there.
Confident about your crust?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I mean, the only time I made a crust was a couple of years ago on a risotto that I burnt the absolute bejesus out of it. So having to do a crust like that, I think, yeah, it's pretty good for a first time.
Thank you, Aaron.
Cheers, thank you.
Walking out of the restaurant knowing the judges are tasting my dish, all I can hope is that they enjoy it. I'd like to think mine's the best, but, you know, you never know.
Let's see if it tastes as good as Aaron thinks it does.
Look at that crust on there. That's fabulous. That's the best of all of them. It just makes me want to tuck in. The crust is good, but the rice, to be honest, is a touch on the bland side.
He's let himself down with the flavour, because you look at that crust and you go, wow, it's telling me I'm going to dance a salsa, but I end up dancing a foxtrot.
The crust is undeniably good. However, the rice, it's very dry, and although there's lots of it, I'm not so sure I want so much of it.
Yeah.
It's a conundrum.
We've got a tough decision.
It's my turn to take my dish into the judges. My Croquembouche is starting to slump on one side.
It's all right, mate?
Yep, and it may actually collapse in front of the judges.
Tom, what happened?
When I actually took it out of the mould, it actually sat up okay.
Yeah.
And then it's slowly starting to slump on one side.
How do you feel you went?
Look, I'm disappointed because the unevenness of the profiteroles, but I'm happy with the caramel, but I actually ran out of the caramel at the very end to actually do the sponge sugar.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
It's very, very hard for a first-timer to do a croquembouche. This is a tough ask, and it's a shame that he's turned it out and it hasn't quite worked as it should have done.
Yeah.
It's light and dark. That means the profiteroles are almost overcooked and slightly burnt on this side. This could taste awesome. Let's dig in. They actually don't taste bad. Because the filling is sweet, the custard itself is really nice. He's done a really good job, but not an exceptional job.
terms of flavour, nice. You know, OK, the presentation isn't quite there. It's leaning, and he hasn't finished it with the spun sugar. He did let himself down a little bit with the colour of some of those profiteroles.
Yeah. Now it's my turn. The judges said the final dish should look or resemble a ballerina. Mine looked like a ballerina with a bit of a limp, I think, because at the bottom was a bit funny.
Chris, there's a little bit of a kink to the side.
It's just the bottom 3 profiteroles on one side just gave in a little bit too much. Yeah, I had to prop it up with a bit of toffee. Yeah.
Oh, OK. How do you think you went?
Pretty well. I'm really happy with the taste.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
It's all up to them. My fate is about to be sealed.
He's managed to spin some sugar. He's managed to even put these little sugar beads on there, so to speak. It looks a little bit like a ballerina. Shall we taste?
Yeah. At least the caramel's crisp. That's it. It's really nice, actually. But the profiteroles are underbaked. They're a little bit doughy. The custard's excellent, really nice, smooth, creamy, vanilla. The caramel's a touch light, but it's still crisp and crunchy. And I think for a man that doesn't cook desserts, that's pretty damn good.
For me, the profiteroles aren't crispy enough. They're just a bit droopy. They're a bit soggy.
Yeah, he was overly cautious, wasn't he?
Overly.
It's my turn to take my Croquembouche to the judges. I think they will have a go at me for giving up so early on in the game.
Just do it. Pick yourself up and let's go. Yeah? All right?
Po, how do you feel? What a huge day for you.
It's been a bit of an emotional roller coaster for me today. I managed to still plate up the Croquembouche. I don't know how I did it, but...
Did you nearly give up?
I did nearly give up. When you really try and put your heart into something and it doesn't turn out, yeah, it's really upsetting.
I don't know why it affects me so much, but I guess it shows how much I really do love cooking and how much it does come from my heart.
Look at your hands. Oh, my goodness. Have you burnt them all?
I have burnt all these fingertips and, yeah, just a few of these from doing the spinning.
OK, take your burnt fingers and let us taste this Croquembouche. Go on, off you go. Thanks, Po.
I'm cooking for my life in this challenge. For me to fail in this is terrible.
She's done a fabulous job of the spun sugar and these lovely little flowers placed all evenly over the Croquembouche.
Shall we taste?
Yeah. There we go. Caramel is absolutely bang on. It's crisp, it's crunchy and perfect toffee flavour. The custard is really good. I reckon that's the best custard I've tasted so far. The profiteroles, surprisingly, and I'm looking for a problem in terms of having seen the first batch that have gone into the oven and knowing they weren't right. These are much better.
Wow, for someone that was just about to throw the towel in, you know, the creme patissiere is delicious. I love the colour of the profiteroles. If that was put in front of me at a wedding...
You'd be pretty impressed, wouldn't you?
I'd be pretty impressed, and I wouldn't know what happened back in the kitchen.
Based on looks alone, compared to the other 3, I'm really disappointed with how mine looks.
Julie, how you feeling?
I think the first one I put toffee on and it stuck and it held a few more in there with it, and so that destroyed the top of it. And I think I may have put a little bit too much toffee on the profiteroles, so they might be a bit hard to eat.
We'll speak to you later.
Thanks.
Thanks, Julie.
I actually feel pretty vulnerable at this point.
Look, I think it's got to taste fabulous if we're going to get over the fact that she did have a major error at the end and broke the top of the croquembouche.
Well, let's hope it tastes great.
Yep.
Gary, go back in for seconds.
Look, we know what happened, but you know what? Those profiteroles are absolutely bang on. They are light, fluffy, marshmallow-like in how they've risen. The only letdown is that it's short, it's missing its top. But it tastes absolutely bloody sensational.
That is spot on. I know qualified chefs that would struggle to do these. Are fantastic. The presentation is a little bit lack, but she just pulls it through with the flavour.
Yeah.
And for me, that means a lot.
People are getting emotional waiting in the room, and the reality of elimination is actually hit.
I think we know that we've got two that have done really well today.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think we've got two that have made some mistakes.
Yeah, totally.
And we've got to make a decision about who goes home today.
Yeah. We get that horrible sinking feeling that one of us is going home.
4 of you sitting in front of us today are possibly the best cooks in this competition. You got through to the top 10. You've done exceptionally well, and yet one of you is going home today.
This is actually the first time I've faced a pressure test. I didn't realise how horrible it was. I didn't understand what the other guys who'd done it before were going through. And that pressure's just ridiculous. I don't wish it on anybody.
Tom, the creme pâtissière had a fantastic flavour. Tasted of vanilla as it should. And the caramel that you put on the croquembouche was crispy, crunchy, had an excellent colour. You were just let down by the profiteroles. Some were overcooked. In the invention test, Tom, you were given the task with Julie to prepare a 2-course meal.
An uninspiring dish, Tom. Sorry to say.
Great dish, really enjoy it.
Thank you.
Your entree is the reason why Julie's standing here right now.
The entree, which you were looking after, didn't work.
No.
If Julie goes home today, how will that make you feel?
Look, it's a hard question.